And I just figured I'd do another video since it's so much easier than posting a comment. But as far as the adhesive or glue used to mount the LEDs, they come with double-sided stick tape on them, and that's all I used in general. I just peeled the backing off and stuck them on. The ones up front by the motor have been in there since I got the bike in 2008. So I've had it for about 2.5 years, and these ones have been pulled off probably 2 or 3 times, maybe more, taking the bike down for service in general, or just pulling the fairings off myself. But after those two is when I put the one in the front, and then one in the tail, and then the one on this side of the crankcase and the one on the other side. And those have been there for probably a year and a half, and nothing's came off at all whatsoever. And then recently, about 6 months ago, is when I put the one in behind the shock, and then the one on the license plate, and then one more in the front, just so it would be brighter. And it's no problems whatsoever. As far as like this one under the tire, it gets dirty sometimes. I very rarely ride my bike in the rain unless I have to. I stay away from big puddles, and I really like to keep it clean. I don't like washing it a lot and whatnot, so I keep it as clean as possible and ride it and try not to make a mess out of everything. But I've had this one caked in mud before, and it still works just fine. Absolutely no problems. It doesn't say on the packaging that they're waterproof, but if you think about it, they're inside more or less gel. The LEDs are not exposed. The wiring's not exposed. Well, other than the jacket for the wire, but nothing's exposed. It's all sealed, so it's more or less waterproof, even though it doesn't say it on the label, because I'm sure you stick it in water and leave it there, it's gonna eventually go out. But as far as the one that's on the license plate, which is the same one that's tucked down behind the shock, they were really cheap actually. I just liked how bright they were, and they actually matched color wise. And all they are is just I don't even know where you'd mount those. Underneath a hood or something for accent lighting, I don't know, underneath your dash. But they're just really thick LEDs. I don't know if, let me turn it off, see if you can see it. Yeah, they're really thick. I highly doubt that that's waterproof. I don't know. I'll find out eventually. But I mean, they've been on there for 6 months and they still work just fine. I forgot to mention when I described all the lighting before that I had also hooked another small strip on the tail to light up the license plate, which also went into the same cables that were for the I can't remember what it's called. The big, nasty, ugly thing with reflectors that everybody takes off their bike. When those wires were just left exposed, so I hooked this LED strip and then the one behind the plate up into that. So as soon as you turn the key on, those come on. But as far as wiring goes, for the switch, every strip, the negative wires, I have them all connected together. And you can ground them out to the bike, which is kind of what you're supposed to do. But I just grounded mine onto the battery. There's only one wire going in. And then all the negatives are actually inside, tucked inside the tail, so they're not even exposed. Because really I have one wire. There's one wire that goes to power, one wire goes to the ground, which is this one. And then everything meets up in the tail, which I don't know if I can pull it out. You can see there's a lot more wires in there, but the ground wires I put them straight to the battery. And then as far as positive goes, that one wire that's on the battery is right here on the switch, and then every other power wire for all the LEDs is in the other side of the switch. So it's both power wires, your entire if you got 10 LED strips on the bike, you're going to have 10 power wires more or less, unless you reduce them down to one, going into one side, and then the power from your battery going into the other side. So pretty much all it is it breaks the circuit is really all it does for the power, which is obvious because that's what a switch is. That's all it does is breaks the circuit, lights go off. Flip it, goes back on. If you wanted to, you could hook them all up into the cable that is there for your original license plate light, since Gixxers have the integrated signals already. And the only light that's on the big nasty mud flap is just for your license plate. So if you still got those wires and didn't pull them out, you can hook everything up into those two wires and then don't even have to put a switch on the bike. All you do is turn your key and everything turns on. But yeah, any questions? Most likely. If it's not something I'll answer in a comment, I'll answer it with another video response.